Like, it's not about you. They're not worried about you. They're worried about themselves. But then the entrepreneurship is just, it's really shown me what I'm made of. It's shown me what I can do personally, professionally. It's a place where you can't really hide because the skeletons come out. Otherwise, you're not going to have a successful business. So really
so true.
To be honest with myself, showing up whether I want to or not, which is not generally not a hard thing for me. I have a pretty strong work ethic, but still it's, sometimes you rather not do that. You rather not show up, but.
I totally agree. I think that entrepreneurship has been, for me, it's been such a reward of how hard can it get, but how good can it get?
Mm-hmm.
Well, hello and welcome back to the Amanda Kaufman Show. And today we're continuing our segment on coaches that don't suck. And let me tell you, Jaime Duggan definitely doesn't suck. She is the author of Drama-Free Health, which I think is so awesome because getting to know Jaime personally, I can tell you this is a mama who has no time for drama. She is ready to tell you like it is and be really straight with you. And I really love that about her. She's a holistic health coach, and I am just so honored to have you here on the show. Welcome, Jaime.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So, I started this segment on coaches that don't suck, and you rose like right to the top of my people I have to reach out to, and you responded really, really quickly. So what is it about this show that appealed to you that you wanted to come and join us today?
Well, we all want to know more coaches that don't suck. And you are definitely one that does not suck. So I thought, hey, why not?
I appreciate it. Now, Jaime, you've had a huge year. You have launched a book. Tell us about the book. How'd the launch go? How'd all that go?
It went really, really well. It was crazy. I never in a million years even thought that I would write a book, let alone publish one. And so launching that at the end of July was really exciting. It hit bestseller lists right away. And it has just continued to be it's been a springboard for my business, for speaking opportunities and for sharing more about what I do, with a larger audience. So it's been really fun.
So good. And good for you for writing the book. I think a lot of people feel that they have a book in their heart or in their mind. And I think it's one thing to have the idea. It's another thing to action it. So what was that like for you to just take the leap and say, this is going to be something that I do?
It was it was conscious, obviously, like I had to decide to do it, but it was just like I knew that it was the next step that I needed to take. Being an author was it was never a dream of mine or an aspiration. And it was like, you know what? I've wanted to write this. I was blogging and I thought, I'm just going to start. And then I started and it kind of just poured out of me. And as I was writing it, I kept telling my husband, I'm not writing this in vain. Like, I'm not writing it for the accolade. I'm not writing it to be an author. Like, that was never my intention or my goal. And so I think that took a lot of the pressure off of it because it was like, well, I just want to, I didn't know how to write, like how to be a writer. And so I just wrote the book like I talk. Like, it's very much just like having a conversation with me. But it was a really fun process. It wasn't very stressful. It was very natural. And I think because I took the pressure off and I just decided, I'm going to do it the way I want to do it, not the way I'm not going to try to model everybody else, because that tends to be something that I want to do. I'm going to do it like them. And then it feels stressful because I'm doing it like them instead of doing it like me. And
I
when I
love it.
just
It's like
decided to do
drama-free writing.
yeah. So when I decided just to do it like me, it just flowed out, and it was really fun. And, doing that and showing my kids, like writing a book and actually publishing it, I have to say my kids definitely pulled me through, because I remember on more than one occasion my son coming up to me and being like, Mom, how's the book? And I was like, it was maybe in a time where I wasn't writing as consistently, and I'm like, what book? He's like, your book, Mom. I'm like, yeah, God, okay, he's watching, he's paying attention. I have to finish
For
this.
sure. Yeah, I love that. I love this whole story because I think that there's a lot of reasons to achieve. And if you're out of alignment in what you're pursuing, in the sense that maybe, because I guess it's fine if you want to write a book to be specifically a bestseller. I think that's cool if it's aligned to your values and if it's aligned to like who you see yourself as. But it sounds like for you, you were finding like, what's my reason? What's Jamie's reason for wanting to get this book out? And, it was on your heart. You were really, really aligned to it. That's super cool. So talk to me a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey in general. I mean, you are very connected with your goals, your vision, and how you help people. You're super consistent on social media. People, watch Jamie. She does a very good job of being very real and very consistent. What do you think drives you there? Like, why do you continue to show up, continue to develop yourself, and continue to do the work?
Social media or just in general?
Just, I noticed that you're really consistent on social media, but I just also know like a lot of coaches talk about wanting to be a coach, but they never write the book. They talk about wanting to be a coach, but they never post on social media. They talk about it, but they don't do the walking that goes with the talking that actually creates the result. So I'm really curious, like for you, what's been the thing that's helped you with your follow through?
I'm going to say that it was probably, I'm not sure exactly when the shift happened, but there was a moment when I was hanging on to like, maybe I'll go back to work, maybe I'll, get a job. And there's a shift in me that happened that was like, nope, no matter what happens, I can make it work. And I know that I am the only one that's responsible for my success. And I know that I have to continue. And I have a really clear vision of what I want in my future. Even sometimes when it doesn't feel so clear, I do know where I'm going. And so I face the challenges. I've gotten really good at doing the uncomfortable thing. I've gotten really good at, not just because like what I teach all my clients and what, I try to live by is walk the walk, talk the talk. Don't do things that, you're not, or don't tell people to do things that you're not willing to do. And if this is what you have to do to be successful, then this is what you're going to do. Because I mean, honestly, in life, you have two options. You can make progress or you can make excuses. And the choice is yours.
Yeah, that's so funny that you said it like that, because I just did a workshop on Saturday and we were talking all about the fears that tend to hold us back. And I said something very similar to that. I said that, you can use fear as fuel or you can use fear as the excuse. It's one or the other. It's not, and most people default to kind of excusey land. But I think it's because they're missing that piece that you seem to have, in spades, which is you have clarity of your vision of where you're going. And there's sort of this piece that can come over you when you're good with like, I'm not totally clear about exactly all the steps between there and where I am today, but I am clear about what I'm doing today. I'm going to do what I'm doing today. And I am clear about what I've done in the past. And I am clear about getting the mentorship and the support to help me with bridging that gap in the middle. So good. So Jamie, like, what are you the most excited about that's upcoming for your business?
Well, I have my first keynote on Friday. So
stop. You're doing a keynote?
Yes, on Friday. So talk about facing the fear like head on. It is. I'm trying.
Good for you. I love it.
Thank you. I'm terrified.
You're terrified. Oh, wow. I mean, Well, you're getting some practice in just before by coming onto my podcast. So
Yes. It's
yeah,
going to be
like,
good, but it's crazy. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited to face that fear head on.
yeah. Is this your first like public speaking major event?
In person, yeah. Yeah.
It's really exciting. Congratulations. That's
Thank
really
you.
huge.
Thank
When
you.
you got the news or the opportunity to do this keynote, like how did that come about? Did somebody like look you up? Did you have a connection? How did that come about?
She was somebody that I had met through a networking group, and she got my book, and she's like, I love your book, and I run a agency for social workers, and I would love to have you come out and speak at one of our quarterly meetings and to do a presentation. So I
Talk
jumped
about
at
a
it.
ripple. Yes. Oh my gosh, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's exciting
That is
and
exciting. That
scary.
is exciting. And I asked that question because I think a lot of people sort of assume that if I post to social media all the time, then somebody's going to tap me on the shoulder. Or, some people I know I was like this early on. I was very black and white. I was like, it's all going to come from networking, or it's all going to come from this one place or this one direction. And thanks for sharing like how that came about for you, because I think sometimes things come through the, designed channel, if you will. But sometimes it really is just like meeting a person, connecting authentically, and then they have a need and they think of you first. That
Yeah.
is so great. Yeah,
Yeah.
way to be. So one of my things that I'm asking everyone in this segment is, what are 3 things that help a coach not to suck? You've had a lot of experience in the coachy land. Like what do you think are the 3 traits that really make a great coach?
I think that it can be different for every client, but I think definitely being unafraid to challenge the client, really showing up. Brendan Burchard keeps saying this, like, you have to be able to coach yourself in order to coach others. And so what makes a really good coach is somebody who can work themselves through their challenges and their struggles and continue to get up and go, because we're the foundation. People look to us for support and for guidance. And if we can't get our own, if we're not able to maintain ourselves, then how are we able to help others?
Mm-hmm.
And then the last piece is probably going to be just being really attentive to what the client needs, trying to see it from their perspective, not trying to solve all the problems in our own way, but how do we get the client to find their own solutions?
Yeah,
Because when they
that's
find their
so
own
good.
solutions, then they stick with
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, like when an idea thought is always going to be more powerful than an idea planted.
it. Mm-hmm.
So I really love that. And, you kind of bring up like the hypocrisy side of our space. Like, don't be a hypocrite, do the work, do the doing. I loved that point about self-coaching. I really believe in having like a multimodal type approach to growth. And that definitely includes being able to have the hard conversations with self, right? I think having a coach is also a really powerful tool. A lot of people have said that when I asked the question, like a coach should have a coach. I agree with that, but I really love your take on, you've got to basically build your own self-awareness and your own decisiveness as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super.
I mean, the coach, for sure, absolutely having a coach help guide you, but also, like, who are you when nobody else is around? Who are you, how do you, because you don't have a coach with you unless you're married to one, which
Oh my gosh, I don't recommend
I don't recommend. I
spousal
wouldn't,
coaching.
but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, what are you doing in all the other time? How do you show up? Like, we have to be accountable to ourselves first and foremost.
I think that's such a great point. There's 168 hours every single week, and 167 of them are not spent in that 1 hour a week coaching session. So you're absolutely right. And, you're the one that gets to live with your choices and the mistakes and the growths and the wins and all of that. And that's you 24/7. I love it. So Jamie, what what would you say has been your most valuable lesson about entrepreneurship and coaching so far?
One valuable lesson? There's only been a few.
There's only been a few. Okay, well then what's your favorite?
Oh my God. Probably, and this is going to sound it might sound conceited, and it does. I don't mean for it to be, but like, it's just not about me.
That's the opposite of conceited. What are you saying?
Well, that's been the biggest lesson, is like to stop worrying so much about myself. Like, as I'm preparing for this keynote, I'm getting so in my head of like, oh my gosh, how am I going to come off, and this and that? And it's like, no, it's not about you. It's about the other people, But also, so that's like been a really big lesson in just how to develop and not that I ever was all about me, but like thinking, taking the pressure off in that way. Like, it's not about you. They're not worried about you. They're worried about themselves. But then the entrepreneurship is just, it's really shown me what I'm made of. It's shown me what I can do personally, professionally. It's a place where you can't really hide because the skeletons come out. Otherwise, you're not going to have a successful business. So really
so true.
To be honest with myself, showing up whether I want to or not, which is not generally not a hard thing for me. I have a pretty strong work ethic, but still it's, sometimes you rather not do that. You rather not show up, but.
Totally agree. I think that entrepreneurship has been, for me, it's been such a reward of how hard can it get, but how good can it get? Today's Canadian Thanksgiving that we're doing the recording. I think this will come out a little later than that, but it is a day of gratitude for me in particular. I like to reflect on that, being a Canadian myself. And I was like, my biggest gratitude that came to mind was when I was about 25, I had this recurring existential crisis thought of like, what if this is as good as it'll ever be? Like, what if I, because I had succeeded to quite a high degree, but I wasn't feeling gratitude for it. I was feeling fearful that like, that was it. That was all there was. And then I discovered that with entrepreneurship, it's like, oh my God, you can build massive companies. You could have tremendous impact. You could work with like so many people. And now I have like the opposite challenge, which is like, goodness, there's so much to do. And there's so much to create, and there's so much impact to have. And I was thinking about that a lot today, that, entrepreneurship really has opened my eyes to just what all could be possible. And I love living in that world. I'd rather never hit the top of the mountain than live in the old world where I thought that was it.
You hit the nail on the head. Like, that is... It's expanded my thinking. It's expanded the possibilities. It expands, the people who you're around. Like, totally. It really is. It's an amazing opportunity that I am thankful for every single day. It's, it's such a blessing to be able to, especially when people talk about work drama. I'm like, oh,
I know, right? Like, that has shrunk so much
terrible.
in my rear view mirror. I'm like, oh, that's terrible, and I don't relate to it the way I used to. That's for sure.
I'm really sorry you're having those struggles.
Yeah, I love that. And I think like kind of the watch outs that I found too on entrepreneurship is like we get to see just like how resilient we must become in order to do this. But at the same time, I think it's so important not to identify with the struggle. I know that that's a mistake that I for sure have made, of just like, oh, it's hard. It will always be hard. And that's just not the way of it. That's not what is going to help you move forward.
No.
So Jaime, thank you so much for coming. Like, what is the best way for people to follow you?
You can find me on social media, on Facebook, Instagram at Jaime Duggan, and find my book, Drama Free Health, on Amazon.
I love it. Well, definitely we'll put the links below the video so that you can check it out, or in the description in the show notes. And listener, go ahead and leave a 5-star review for this amazing episode. Jamie has very kindly taken us behind the scenes on what it's been like to build her coaching business that definitely doesn't suck. And so when you leave that 5-star review, it really makes it a lot easier for people to find the episode. And also go ahead and share this episode with 3 of your friends, people that maybe are thinking about writing that book, or they're thinking like maybe this is too hard. Maybe they can't do it for them. They can do it. Absolutely. Right. We just talked about it. So go ahead and share this episode with your friends so that they can benefit from it. And don't forget to subscribe so you can enjoy another episode as soon as it releases. Thanks again, Jamie.
Thank you.
And thank you, listener. We'll see you next time on the Amanda Kaufman Show.